Hello. It's Melusine, and today I'm excited to share my first ever financial analysis video. Heaux Coin, a data-driven deep dive. Let's get started. Hello. Today I will be deep diving us into a data-driven look at the hidden tokenomics of Heaux Coin, a cryptocurrency made by the brand Heaux Cosmetics. This presentation is not to fearmonger or even get on a hype train. It's simply to provide clarity so that you can make a more informed decision when approaching investment into microcap tokens, meme coins, or other cryptocurrencies. Let's delve in and see what the numbers reveal. But before we begin, why I was even interested in this coin? Well, I had been following a YouTuber for years who had been promoting the brand for years. So I finally decided recently that it was time for me to go ahead and order myself a sample of their products. Those samples haven't come in yet, but in the meantime, I did receive an email promoting their Heaux Coin cryptocurrency. Apparently, you can get 5% cash back on every purchase that would go towards their coin. So that made me curious, but I did want to understand the structure behind it. So I looked into the data and analyzed it myself. So what I'm actually going to cover in this presentation is going to be the basic market stats, the holder distribution, the liquidity setup, and basically how large holders or whales can influence the token's behavior. So the goal is to help you see exactly how these small tokens function beneath the surface. So upon initial research, here are the high-level numbers that I found, and this is as of November 17th, 2025. The market cap is around $47,000. There's 1 billion total tokens and about 165 holders. The trading volume is low. It's roughly at about $1,700 per day. So the figures indicate a very early stage token with very thin liquidity. Right now, on the Moonshot app, where this coin is exclusively being traded, you can see the price chart, which may look calm and stable. There's one initial spike, which is expected, followed by a long period of flat movement. But in low volume tokens, that stillness doesn't mean necessarily that it's safe. It often more so means that there's just very few trades happening at the given time. So, to understand that structure more clearly, I exported the list of the top 1,000 token holding wallets. The CSV shows each address, its balance, and the percentage of total supply that it holds. From the data, it's clear that ownership is not spread evenly. There's a very small number of wallets that hold significantly more influence than the rest. Let me show you. So here's where we start getting into the juicy details. This pie chart visualizes the concentration of supply. The largest holder, as you can see, controls over 53% of all tokens. The second largest holds 32%. Together, they control more than 85% of the entire supply. Everyone else combined holds the remaining 14%. This is a very high level of concentration. Okay, but what the heck does any of that mean? Well, when a small number of wallets hold the majority of a token, it's them who have the ability to change the price dramatically, even if it's a relatively small trade. That doesn't inherently imply wrongdoing or unethical scheming, but it does show how sensitive this token is to the larger holders. Okay, but let's talk about the liquidity pool. A liquidity pool is where the buying and selling happen. It's a contract that holds both the token and its paired currency, like Ethereum or Dogecoin, for instance. If a token has low liquidity, the price can swing very heavily when someone buys or sells. In this particular case of Hocoin, the liquidity pool appears to be small. So that means the token will react sharply to any sort of movement. Let's get real. Is this a pump and dump scheme going on here? Well, not necessarily. The token structure does not guarantee a pump and dump, but it does allow for rapid rises and thus significant drops. Any sudden surge in interest or a hype train can create the pump, and so any large sale from the top holder can create a large drop. That's just simply how thin markets tend to behave. So I have gone ahead and created two simulations for how a whale sale could impact someone's dollar value in a low liquidity environment. The first scenario is if you were to start out with $100 and a large holder just sold 5% of their supply, then the value could fall to around $15. And in scenario two, if you were to start out with half the amount at $50 and a whale sold 10% of their supply, then the value could fall to roughly a buck. These figures just indicate how sharply small tokens can move when liquidity is this thin. But wait, I know some of you are clicking off this video right now saying, you know what, ain't worth it, moving on. Why do you even think this was a good idea to begin with? Cryptocurrency is dumb. Hold on. Here's what your $50 can do. You can still gain a profit because, of course, price doesn't only move downward. A strong wave of interest or a hype train can easily double or triple a small token's market cap. So your $50 could become 100 or even 150 if momentum appears. But just it's being mindful that the same sensitivity that allows fast growth also allows for a rapid decline, and that's just the nature of this game. Now, this is not financial professional advice. I am not qualified to tell you what to do with your wallet or how much of your wallet to do things with. That being said, this is my personal exit strategy that I would use for maximum safety. In microcap tokens such as this, the safest approach might be to take profit early and exit during high volume periods. And this is a common strategy for cryptocurrencies such as this. The trick is to avoid holding through vertical price spikes and watch for increase in trading activity. Most importantly, learn how to whale watch. You're going to pay attention to the movement of those large wallets. So here's my final take. Because I personally would love to see this brand's long-term success, I would personally be interested in investing in Hocoin. But I use the word investing very loosely because honestly, this is more like a gamble. The token is an interesting concept, but its structure does make it highly sensitive to whale activity. So I would say a small stake is reasonable for anyone exploring out of curiosity, but larger positions would carry a significant risk. My goal in saying all of this is not to alarm you, but it's to show you how to read the data as clearly as you can before making any decision, especially when it comes to your money, and especially if you're a beginner in this game of cryptocurrency. Because guess what? I am. And all of that information and the terminology was daunting for me to even navigate through until I decided to just go for it and dive in. So that being said, I figure now that as long as you are willing to understand what the numbers can reveal, you're going to have a leg up in this game and you're going to be able to approach any digital ecosystem with a higher degree of confidence and discernment. And that is my hope for you, because that is what it has done for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you did find this financial analysis helpful, I'd love for you to like the video and comment your thoughts. This took a lot of time and effort to make, so your engagement and support means the world to my growing channel. Now, this investment analysis, as well as other breakdowns, will be part of my growing series of content called the Black Widow Bible, a subcategory of my own brand, Fable Alchemy. The Bible, as well as other subcategories, will consist of ethically sinister lifestyle approaches to relationships, health, wealth, and psychological development through the lens of dark archetypal energies, especially the dark feminine. So, if this is something that interests you, I would implore you to subscribe to my channel, and especially because I will be providing more content on other dark archetypes. Please stay subscribed, and you may resonate, or someone else you know may resonate more with another archetype that I will be explaining in the near future. So I thank you for your engagement and support in advance. Until then, have a nice night.